How's it going, my friends? This is episode 3. Today we're talking about building muscle and improving health. The highlight of today, we're going to talk about 4 keys to building muscle. We're going to talk about why more muscle improves health, and we're going to look at some common problems with building muscle that are also addressed by the 4 keys to building muscle. So first off, you guys, why more muscle improves health? When muscle is a metabolically active organ, it burns more calories at rest. So when you have more muscle on your frame, your metabolism is increased, allowing you to burn more calories as well as consume more calories. And when we have more muscle on our body, we have more capacity for glucose storage, which is the storage form of sugar or carbohydrate when it comes in. So you basically can eat more and bring in more nutrients for the body and have more storage space for those nutrients. Having more muscle also improves hormone function. So when we exercise our muscles, we secrete and get hormones mobilized that aid to many processes and increase our health. So having that muscle on your body and having it active and putting the right things into motion in our body, in our brains, creating BDNF, putting dopamine in motion, and also acting as a pain reliever with endorphins being released when we exercise. Having more muscle on the frame really increases your hormone function. Having more muscle also increases longevity. So a lot of studies have shown that elderly people who have increased or improved or high grip strength have the most likelihood to live the longest, as well as the elderly people and people who have bigger, stronger leg muscles are less likely to fall and hurt themselves as well. So having more muscle lends itself to longevity in the long run. So those are just a few ways that muscle can improve your health, you guys. So we'll be moving on. We're just going to talk about a little side effect of building muscle here that is great for your health, and that is when you focus on strength and when you focus on building muscle and building strength and building your GPP, which is general physical preparedness or your conditioning. When you focus on building strength, muscle, and GPP, inherently you will lose fat. Your body will drain off body fat, and it's just a side effect of increasing your strength, your muscle mass, and your conditioning. It all falls together and will improve people's body comp as well. So some common problems with muscle building, we're going to go over a couple of these, and they are addressed by the 4 keys, so then we'll go into that. So some common problems with building muscle are not eating enough calories, not providing enough training stimulus, not being consistent enough, and then the last one is also not recovering enough. And then we have another one too, that once you get through and you've built muscle for years and you're kind of been working, you can hit these plateaus, but we'll talk about how to break through the plateaus as well at the end. So key number 1 is going to be to provide an adequate stimulus with good form. So when we want to build muscle, the muscle needs to be worked to the point that it knows it needs to grow, overcome, and get bigger for the next time it has to do this work. So if you're not training hard enough or with heavy enough weights or with any weights, sometimes it's not going to send that stimulus to the muscle that we want to build and grow. So the number 1 key to building muscle is an adequate stimulus, which means that we're going to work the target muscle in a certain way through a certain exercise, and the goal is to work that muscle close to failure, but not to exact failure. The studies show that anywhere from 5 reps to failure to 2 reps to failure can be very muscle stimulating. And there are some times that call for you going to failure, to that last rep or 2 in reserve, but we will build adequate muscle going 2 reps or so shy of failure. So that's what we would call an adequate stimulus for you. And everyone's different. Certain exercises work better for certain people. We all have different bodies, lengths, and a lot of things going on. We are bio-individual. So we want to make sure that's why when we're going through a program, we want to make sure that it is tailored or individualized to us, and or that while we go through it, we are consciously looking for exercises that agree with our anatomy and the bio-individual that we're working with, or yourself in this manner. So the first key is to provide an adequate stimulus, which just means to train hard enough and to Train intelligently. So the second key is to provide enough calories for that stimulus. So number 2 is to provide enough calories. If you're not eating enough in the way of food to come in and to build that muscle, if you don't have the fuel or the building blocks coming in, then if you don't have bricks to build a house, there's no house to build. So number 2 is to eat enough calories to provide the stimulus that you've had for the muscles so that they can grow. So when you work the muscle well and then you eat enough calories over the next day or two and weeks over recovering those calories, and it's a big deal. It's a big thing to get enough protein for sure, and then enough calories maybe in a surplus to build that muscle over time, which kind of leads us into the third key. The third key is consistency. If you provide an adequate stimulus every once in a while and you eat enough calories every once in a while, those things are not consistent enough to get you the results over time that you're wanting, which is to build muscle and improve your health. So number 3 kind of ties it all together, is you have to do these things consistently. So you have to consistently provide an adequate stimulus. You have to consistently eat enough calories. And then the fourth key is to recover well. And that kind of goes in with the consistency as well. So you have to consistently recover well. So we'll just move on to the fourth key, which is, like we said, it's to recover well. And you want to recover. A lot of people will go in and they may beat themselves up and they'll recover just to baseline. And they beat themselves up and they recover just to baseline. What we want is to train the muscle well and recover to baseline and past baseline so that we can adapt and grow and then come back to our new baseline. And then you continually, gradually build muscle like that. So the fourth key, we must be recovering well. We need to be making sure that we're consistently getting the calories in to help that muscle recover. We're consistently having breaks in between our training, as in if you train on Monday, have active recovery day on Tuesday, go for a walk, do some activity, and then you come back and train on Wednesday with weights, and then you take Thursday, you go for a walk and stretch and do stress management and make sure you're sleeping well and eating well. Come back on the next day and you train a couple reps shy of failure, and that's where you kind of get in that consistency. So if you're hitting number 1, the first key, which is to provide an adequate stimulus, and like I'll say, always do it with good form. We don't want to push ourselves with bad form that causes injury. We want to make sure we're getting enough calories. And I'll just go, we want to make sure we're recovering well, and then we want to make sure that we're doing those 3 things consistently. So those are 4 big keys to building muscle. You want to make sure you're providing an adequate stimulus, that you're eating enough, that you're recovering well, and that you're doing all these things consistently. And I'll end on this note here, and that is, once we start getting into the process of building muscle and exercising and training our muscles in our body, we're going to hit some moments when we've had progress, and then we finally have a moment where we plateau. And when we plateau, it's because our bodies have overly adapted to our training style and our system over months or a year, and that your body has just become really good at it. And one of the best things to do when you're in a plateau is to don't sweat it so much, but a good thing to do is to change up your rep range. So if you're always training in the 5 to 6 rep range, or you're always doing 15 reps, or you're always training in one way, you want to definitely change the stimulus. You want to change the stimulus into a different rep range and a different style of training, and that will provide a new adequate stimulus to your muscles that it hasn't adapted to yet, so that can break through plateaus. Another thing to do, which could be along the same lines, is to start a new program or start a new goal, like maybe start a powerlifting goal or a strength goal in the squat. Kind of change up your focus and direction so that you can get out of that adaptation that your body has stuck to. And it goes along with the program, and you can change up exercises, you can change up the order or the method of your training. So those are some good little tips there that can break you through some plateaus. Change up your rep ranges, change up your program, change up some exercises, your exercise order, or just the method in general. Take a deload. Another option is to take a deload week, as in you come in and do the same program you've been doing, but you do it at about 50% of the weight you've been doing it. Go through the motions with good form. It obviously won't be too hard, and your body will have a light stem and almost time off, it will think. And then in about a week or two later, you come back and you start trying to push some more and see if you can break through that plateau that way as well. So appreciate your time here, guys. Have a great day, and I'll be talking to you again soon. If there's anything you guys want to hear about on here or have any questions, you can leave them on my social media. You can email me at fitnessfrombradley@gmail.com. I love to hear from you guys, and if you guys need to know anything or have any questions, just let me know. Appreciate your time. Have an amazing day. See ya.